Hey guys, Crypto Dad here. Today we're going to go through a basic setup that will give you privacy and anonymity on the internet. It isn't going to be ironclad or anything like that, but it is a good basic setup for a beginner who's interested in this whole world of privacy and anonymity and encryption and software verification, all these good stuff I like to talk about. This is kind of where you want to start your journey. We'll go into a little bit more about how it's not quite as airtight as one might want, but this is the best way to get yourself started. So let's dive right in. So today we're going to install the Tor browser. We're going to download it and verify it before we run the installer. Now, in one of my previous videos, I talked at length about software verification, maybe a bit too much. Some people tell me my videos aren't short enough, but my hope is that when you come in to one of my videos, you're motivated to get the full story, and you may be a beginner to an intermediate or maybe even advanced, but you want to know a little bit about why you're doing what you're doing. You want to hold on to these tools, make it a little more meaningful for you. So I'm going to go ahead and explain what I'm doing along the way. But one thing that I'm not going to do is download and install the GPG for Windows. That is our GnuPG, which is our wonderful verification software that we're going to be using to verify our download. So if you see me running through all this and go, what the heck, what is this program? Look down in the description. I have a link to it. It's fairly straightforward to download and install the GnuPG, the GPG for Windows software on your computer. But if you're a stickler like me and you want to make sure that you've verified your GPG for Windows, you might want to go back and check out my verification videos to make sure that you've got that software verified. So without further ado, let's go over here to our software window. Now I'm running my monitor in Super HD, and I've got my browser blown up so you can see what I'm doing. My recommendation here is to run this video in full screen to make it a little easier for you to see what it is I'm doing. So that being said, the first thing we'll do is download Tor. Let's jump right in. We're going to download Tor. Okay, we're going to hit the, by the way, I'll point this out again. When I'm running Firefox, I like to have the ask to save files option ticked. It helps you have more control over where you save your files. The download is save files to downloads folder, which is all well and good for most people. But in this demonstration, I've got this option ticked. So if you're wondering how come it pops up a window and mine doesn't, that's why. You've got yours set on default. So let's get that going here. I'm going to click download. I'm going to get the window asking me what I want to do with it. I'm going to click save, and as I mentioned before, I have this wonderful software folder which I've got in my quick access. The software folder lives on my data drive. We can talk a little more about how I have my system set up, but that's not our focus today. So we're going to create a new folder. We'll call this Tor. Pretty obvious. I'll double click that guy and just drop this little installer in there. Now we're going to need the signature. That's this crazy guy over here. That's encrypted text. So the easiest way to get this into a text file with the right file name is to right click on this little sig, choose save link as, and we're going to drop it in there. Okay, and we're going to need the installer, we're going to need the signing file, and then we're also going to need this thing called the signing key from the developers. And it doesn't really stand out on the Tor website. It may be a little confusing. So what we do is we click this little what's this, and it takes us over here to a greater description of what verifying is and how it's done. And over here you'll get the signing keys, And what we want is the Tor Browser Developers signing keys. There's a lot of other signing keys on this page, which you might want to take a look at. And by the way, I do encourage you to donate to the Tor Browser Developers. I'm going to put a link in the info link in the top of this video. So I'm going to copy this little guy here. I'm going to launch GPA, which is my front end. Okay, I'm not going to generate my own key right now. We don't need to go through all that. And I'm going to go over here to Server, Retrieve Keys, and paste. And that's going to give me that wonderful Tor Browser Developer signing key. You can see it over here too. You can also do this in the command line. I can show you how to do that as well. But let's go right to the verification step. We want to get this done, right? Software, Tor. Okay, so I have my Tor browser installer and I have my Tor browser signing key. Let's do the command line. It's a little, I'm going to hit Shift and right click and choose Open Windows PowerShell here. That's going to give us a nice PowerShell window right in the directory that we're interested in. We'll do a dir and we'll see our two files here. Okay, so what I like to do is highlight, Control C, and we'll do paste, space, paste. And this second file name here is the file name that I want to use for the installer. I forgot to put the command there, so I'm going to align back. Actually, why don't we, I know we're live here, aren't we? This is GPG, and we have a -- verify. We want to verify all this. You should have done that first. So when you're doing this on your own, you'll type GPG verify with 2 dashes in the front. That's your switch, a space. Then we're going to do our paste. I hope you can follow that. Okay, and then we're going to hit enter and watch it churn away. And bam. So there we go. We downloaded the Tor browser installer. We downloaded the signing file next to it. And then we went and grabbed the signing key for the Tor developers. And after we did that, we were able to run the verify command, and it worked just fine. We got this good signature from the Tor browser developers. And as I mentioned in our other videos, you also are going to get this warning. Best practice is to just accept it, okay? Because there's no way we're ever going to have a fully trusted signature unless we've met a Tor browser developer in person and gotten a fingerprint from them, or we, through the circle of trust, friend of a friend of a friend, we know someone that knows someone who knows a Tor browser developer, and they've gotten the fingerprint written down on a piece of paper or whatever and given to us or emailed to us, as long as it's someone that we trust. I also mentioned in the Debian video that there are such things as signing parties where people get together that are into encryption and software verification and privacy and anonymity or whatever they may be into. They meet together to exchange fingerprints, meet and greet, and get to know each other personally. That's really the only way you're going to fully trust the signature, unless you're a cheater like I am, who likes to just right-click and give that key full trust down here at Ultimate. And when you do that, and you run this command, up arrow, you're going to get the full verification without the warning. But like I said, best practice is to just accept the fact that you're going to get this warning. We won't go into this whole verification thing. Now, now that we've got Tor installed, the installer on our hard drive, let's run the installer. Now, I hope this works okay because I already have Tor installed on my computer on a secondary drive. I'm just going to let it go to the default area. I'm going to click Finish and let the Tor browser go ahead and run. Let's throw all caution to the wind. Generally, I like to launch them independently, but we will go ahead and see what happens here. Okay, so this is the nice window. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of all this other stuff so you can see what's going on. Okay, so this is the first window that you'll be presented with. I'm going to do a little cleanup here. This is the first window that you'll be presented with the first time you run Tor. Okay, I like to do configure, and I'll explain that why. When we do configure, it's going to ask us a couple of questions. Now, the first question that it asks you is whether or not your ISP will censor your connections. We're going to assume that's no. Wait a minute. I'm going to put yes here. Yeah, because I want to explain to you or have you configure yours with a bridge. A bridge is going to give you just a little bit more privacy and anonymity than just the raw default installation of the Tor browser. There, let me get on a window where we can see each other. There it is. Nice to see you again. The whole thing about using Tor is that it does provide you encrypted communications on the internet, and no one can see what you're doing to a certain extent. And that's because the communication is encrypted. It goes encrypted from my computer to a Tor node, and then it jumps to a different Tor node, and then from there a different Tor node, and I believe it's usually 3 or 4 nodes in any one connection. And all of those are encrypted, and they're all, no one can see the traffic that's going back and forth. And no one really knows what's going on at the last Tor node. And when you go on the internet, it appears that you are connecting from that last Tor node. So I'll show you that when we get there. It's going to be like if the last Tor node's in Sweden, you're going to have an IP address that's Swedish. Now, the only drawback to all of this is that there's 2 drawbacks. The last node is where the bad guys might sit and monitor all of the people that are communicating through the Tor network. And if you're doing anything like filling out a web form where you're using clear text and providing your name and address and all that, that stuff's in clear text, because that Tor exit node is when you finally get to the end, it's like you're back on the internet again. So that can be monitored, and that can reveal your identifying information. Number 2 is that, and one more thing about that, if you're on an onion site, a Tor site, then that you're going to stay, that last site is encrypted and it's on the Tor network, then it can't be seen. This only applies when we're browsing ClearNet websites, and we'll talk about that distinction in a minute. But the second thing is that your ISP also is aware that you're using the Tor browser, and anyone else that may be privy to that knowledge. It could be the government, it could be a hacker, it could be anybody that is aware that you are using a Tor browser, and so bam, you're suspicious, so to speak. So this gives you, this one little thing I'm going to show you here gives you just a little bit more of a level of privacy and anonymity, and it's called a bridge. Let's go back to the full screen. Yes. Okay. So we're going to say yes here. Okay. We're going to click next, and then it's going to ask us, well, what do you want to do? Do you want to connect with bridges? Now, you can go and find these bridges. They're on websites and cut and paste them into all this. It's a little bit involved. I'm not going to go through all that today because the Tor browser provides you one of the best obfuscation bridges that's out there, and it's the default. And you'll connect with this bridge, and it'll be that much harder for someone to see that you're using Tor. Okay, does this computer use a proxy? No. I'm just going to go ahead and connect. So here's our first Tor network connection. It's launching bravely. It's getting configured. And let's see what happens. Are we going to connect? Let's all hold our breath, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, indeed. Here's the Tor browser. Now, we won't go too far into security settings, but I will briefly show you that when we go to security settings, you have low, medium, and high. And that's up to you. I'd recommend high. But I will let you know that it does diminish your browser experience to a certain extent, because it's going to disable a lot of these fun tools that we use to enhance our browser experience, like JavaScript and Flash and all these wonderful things that give the web browser some interactivity and a lot of the let's call it the bells and whistles on a website, the things that make it look cool. A lot of times they're using Flash and JavaScript. But there's also a security issue with these pieces of software, because hackers like them as well. And that's how they can trick you into installing software on your computer through your web browser. So that's why the highest level of security on the Tor is going to disable those things. So we click OK, and you'll notice up here that this S has the block through it, and that's usually what I like to see. Now, it will allow you to disable it temporarily on one particular site that you may trust, but best practices, as far as I'm concerned, is to have, if you see that S there, you know you're disabling all that nasty stuff. Now, watch, this is very interesting. If I go up here and full screen this Tor browser, watch what happens. It's telling me, hey, wait a minute. Maximizing Tor browser can allow websites to determine your monitor size, which can be used to track you. We recommend that you leave Tor browser windows in their original default size. Well, who would have ever guessed that, hey? That just maximizing your web browser reveals information about you. You'd be amazed how much information is revealed about you when you're browsing the internet. It's unbelievable. So this is our first step. So now that we've got our Tor browser here, let's test our network settings. So we'll test network settings. And hey, congratulations, this browser is configured to use Tor, and your IP address appears to be this, which is not what the IP address of this computer is. There's a couple of sites where we can IP checker. Let's see if we can get one of these to work. They sometimes, if they've tagged your computer a few times, they may not work right. And I guess another thing I'll mention to you is that once you've got the Tor browser installed and you're running searches, two things here. The default search is DuckDuckGo, which is a great search engine that does not track you, but you'll notice that things run a tad slower than normally would because of this whole process of bouncing your communications to all these Tor nodes. Now, I have the best internet speed that I can get from my internet service provider. I go high speed all the way, ultimate. I pay a little extra than most people, but if you're using like the basic package where you're only getting 10 megabits per second download speeds to say 15, it's gonna diminish your internet experience. So I like to get, first of all, the best networking and the best computer I can use, and then the best high-speed internet connection that I can get. So anyway, let's click on the What's My IP Address is a very nice little website that came up in this search. Let's open it in a tab and take a look at what we've got here. It tells me that IP address. It didn't tell me exactly where he thought I was, which I kind of like. I find that interesting. One way you can kind of check is, that might take a minute. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, so it's telling me I appear to be in France. Okay. I am not in France. I am in the US. So this is what the Tor browser will do for you. It gives you anonymity. Okay, and while we are here, well, there's a lot of more things we could talk about with Tor. Now, as I mentioned, when we talked about those two things that weaknesses, I guess you'd call it in your privacy scheme, is that your internet provider knows that you're using the Tor browser. Anybody that's privy to that information, government or hacker, may also know that you're using the Tor browser and focus in on you to try to get more information as to what it is you're doing. So another component to our privacy and anonymity on the internet is an VPN provider. Okay, a virtual private network provides us the privacy that we need, and the Tor browser provides us the anonymity that we need. So I'm going to recommend a nice anonymous VPN here, okay, called Private Internet Access. I'm recommending this one because it's good for beginners. It's real easy to use, to download and install. It works really well and very user-friendly. So you just jump on here and get started. Blah blah blah. You're gonna sign up for a plan and sign up. The yearly plan is pretty good, and it gives you all these ways to pay. Now, once we get this service activated, then we can download and install their software, and after it's installed, before we can actually make a connection, it's going to ask us to sign in again to the software. So that's why you want to join this service. You have to be a member in order to connect. You have to have a username and a password. And as you'll see, this username and this password are not associated with your name. So you say, I've got a VPN, I've got the Tor browser, I'm pretty anonymous, aren't I? Well, if you pay with a credit card for your VPN, you're not quite as anonymous as you might want to be. So how do we get around all this? So we want to take it a step further, right? Well, that's why I recommended private internet access. As you'll see, you can pay with Bitcoin, which can be anonymous. It's pretty close to being anonymous in many ways. There are a few extra steps that we might want to take to get full anonymity with Bitcoin. All these others can be associated with you in many ways. I'm not familiar with this Cash, OKPay, and this Zcash thing, and Mint. They may have their own anonymity features. But what I'd like to point out about private internet access is they have this really cool way. Where is it? Ah, here we go. Pay anonymously with many major brand gift cards. Now this is interesting. So if we click this little link here, you get to choose a gift card that you have purchased that you can enter here, whatever it is. Babies R Us. And you can use that to pay. Now, so let's take a look at the plan we were looking at. Pardon me. Okay, so we're looking at a $39.95 per year plan. That's $40 for a year. It's pretty good. So I would recommend just buying yourself a $50 gift card. Okay, you might have a little extra left over, maybe not. But the cool thing about that is I can go somewhere, probably not in my neighborhood, if you want to be OPSEC about this. Now, OPSEC is operational security. All the spies use that kind of thing, and it has to do with the level of privacy and anonymity, or the level of extra care that's taken to ensure security in your operation. Okay, so we're talking about, let's go full screen here so you can see me. So I want a VPN, I want to be anonymous on the internet, but what if somebody goes and checks the logs, hey, what's Rex been doing? Where's he been going? Well, they're in their logs. Now, private internet access claims not to keep logs, and some of them do and some of them don't. Some of them say certain things that they represent themselves to be, but aren't as they have to obey the law. So I mean, if they've given a subpoena and they have this information, they're going to have to turn it over. So you want to ensure that there's no way that they can give up any of your individual identifying information. So this is a great thing, this little trick over here. I can go to a store, most likely not in my neighborhood. They don't know who I am. And I'm going to buy one of their gift cards with cash. I'm not going to put that on my credit card because that's going to show up in my personal identifying information. So I'm going to buy a gift card with cash, and I'm going to bring it home, scratch it off, and use this. Let's say we went to Best Buy. Okay, we have a Best Buy gift card that's not associated with us in any way, and we're going to use private internet access as our VPN. We're going to establish our account purchased with a gift card. So they really have no identifying information attached to me. Another thing that I'll mention is they're going to ask you for an email, because that email, they're going to send you your username and password through the email. So you're going to want to use an anonymous email. We won't go into all of that right now. Okay. So let's say we've signed up, we've downloaded, they have a pretty good installer. Let me just, I'm going to grab it here real quick just to walk you through this. Windows. Okay, we're going to save file. We can just drop this one in downloads. I'm not going to verify this. They don't have signing keys, so we can't do it anyway. I've already done it, obviously. Okay, and then we'll open up a window here and go to downloads. It's ready to go. So we double click this. Okay, we're going to run, it's going to go through all this. I hope it doesn't mess up what I already have installed, but I'll do it for you. Okay, so it's going to run through this installer. It's going to do all this nice stuff. You're going to want to allow it. It's going to ask you a few things. You're going to want to let it go ahead and give it permission. It's going to install a virtual network driver or a virtual network adapter on your computer. This is when you connect to the internet, it's not going to show your MAC address or anything. It's going to be a virtual tunnel between your computer and their service. And there it is. Okay, so as you can see, mine's already in there. And this is the information that they're going to send you in the email. This username, which is not personally connected to you, really, and this password, which they're going to give you. Once you have done this once and signed in, you have the option of changing it. Okay, so, all right, so we're going to turn off Tor for now. Okay, and so this is the process that you're going to go through. You're going to want to launch your, oh no, I've got two of them now. Well, okay. It's kind of weird. Okay, so we're going to right click on this little guy down here. I don't know, he's like a spaceman or whatever he is. And I'm going to do connect auto here. Okay, and you'll notice down here in the corner, oh dear, I've done it again, haven't I? Let's, oh dear, dear me. I have done it again, haven't I? There we go. Let's go full screen on this. Yeah. And I'm in the way, for Pete's sake. My little box is in the way. I'm going to move that away here and turn off all the alarms that are going off. Going crazy over here. We might have to redo this video. Okay. But if we look down here, we'll see the guy's green and that we are connected. And also, let's just run our normal browser And let's do an IP check. Okay, I am not, that is not my IP address. Let's see if they have it. I think they have it on their website too. Yeah, at the top here of their website, they have your IP address is 173.244.36.61. Logic, you are protected by PIA. Isn't that great? So let's do this geolocation. I believe it's going to tell me we're in California. I auto-connected. So yeah, it's actually it tells me I'm Arizona City, Miami. Well, whatever you know, servers I've gone through over there. Okay, Phoenix, Arizona. So apparently that's the best, fastest VPN closest to me. Now that we've done this and we've connected to our VPN, now we can launch our Tor browser and have all kinds of fun. So that's our double security. We've got our VPN and we've got our Tor browser, and that's a really good combination. Now, sorry, I moved my I left my window in full screen mode there while I was going through some stuff. Hopefully it was clear-cut enough what I was doing. I'm sorry. I do that occasionally, and I heartily apologize. But the main thing I want you to take away from this video is our 1-2 punch for the basics. We've got a VPN, and we've got a Tor browser. Now, maybe down the line, we'll talk about a little more tighter security. There's other VPNs that are out of the country that can't be subpoenaed. But for now, I think for the most normal guy that just wants to be there on the internet anonymously is the VPN and the Tor browser. And we won't go into all of the heavy-duty stuff about that. So once again, I'm glad you've joined me. Now keep in mind that this is just a basic setup, and that there are leaks in this. It's not full OPSEC. It's not the hardest security, but it does a much better job than just using your Chrome or your Edge browser. I mean, you might as well wear a sign around your neck. You know, here I am. So the Tor browser is going to give you a level of anonymity that can't be achieved through just normal browsing experience. And in later videos, we'll talk about some of the things that we can do to improve our anonymity and security, and some of the websites out there that you might want to visit, and on the dark web, so to speak. I don't like that term. It's pejorative in most cases. They want to make it sound like only criminals use it. Well, you know, don't let them fool you. Don't let them fool you. We have every right to be anonymous and have privacy in this country. Our founding forefathers provided it for us, and we should respect them by keeping it in the forefront of our efforts. Okay? Once again, thanks for watching. More to come later. If you like the video, share it with your friends, subscribe, do all that great stuff. And I'm happy that you came here. Sorry for a few of the little flubs. I'll be improving my video editing capabilities down the road. So thanks for being with me in my first raw videos.